This computer. Hi, my name's Kimberly. Uh, I don't know if you can see this too well. It's not coming through too good. Uh, but this is my assignment for Composition Studies English 552. This is my assignment for Module 5, the discussion about a make a response in a video. It's due today, November 18, 2025, and my work is this booklet. I'll do a show and tell and then answer the reflection questions. Um, this booklet is an example of personal scrap writing, which I got the idea from Danielle Coop on scrap writing, the article. I took scraps and put them together into something like a little bound booklet. And this, I was first thinking of a zine, but then it didn't quite work out that way. So these are little pieces of things that I have read or written or used in my life, and just a few, not a whole lot. And so it turned out to sort of be my autobiography in alternative composition with fragments of meaning. These are fragments of meaning in my life. Um, I have some language artifacts and my work is not entirely 100% left hemisphere brain words and sentences, but there are some scraps. My kitty is pestering me. There are some scraps for right hemisphere brain processing of holistic and spatial relations and music and emotions. Kitty. Um, I have bits of text, but also some images for holistic visual processing, and I have music playing. I don't know if it's coming through on the recording. Um, and that's for auditory processing. And then at the end, I have a tactile element. So here's my show and tell, and then I'll answer the reflection questions. First of all, my first fragment are question marks because my kitty, geez, my whole life is filled with curiosity, questions, and seeking knowledge. Um, this is a scrap image from our journal review assignment in Module 2. This is the journal that I reviewed. And this is the title of an article from the journal. And I tutor English as a second language. And here are words that connect sentences in a written composition or speech. First, next, because, however, finally, for example. And this image is from a unit that I did with a student on medicines that are created from snake venoms. This, Sion Lee, the article by her, she mentioned how learners can incorporate multilingual and multicultural elements. And this is my name in Japanese kanji. And the first character is pronounced ki, it means hope. And the second character is pronounced mu, which means dream. This is Šaltabarščiai. This is from my Lithuanian heritage culture. It's a cold purple soup made of beets, heifer or buttermilk, cucumber, onion, eggs, potatoes, dill, and salt. Šaltabarščiai. Next is I spoke about brain processing information in the left and right hemispheres. And this is an MRI image of my brain. It's one image from a 10-second video that processed from one side of my head to the other. So it was pretty interesting. Uh, and here's my assistant helping me on this assignment. In this picture, she's getting in my face, so I can't work on my computer. However, I could not complete this assignment without her support. And lastly, these are magnetic alphabet letters that I use with my student who's learning how to learn the alphabet, read, write, and they're 3D, like little children use on the refrigerator, 3D that you can manipulate. They're tactile. And now I'll go to the reflection questions. I have a few notes. What is your experience with making and what your experiences help you understand about using alternative composing projects? I have 4 things to say about this. First of all, it's an open-ended assignment, so students can go in any direction. And I didn't know what the point was that I was doing when I worked on my booklet until I got to the end and I realized, oh, it's autobiographical. The second thing is I learned that all creative abilities can be used and are possible to be used. The third thing I learned is that for me, this was a solo project, but creation could be collaborative between equal partners, or it could be a solo project with one student in charge who works like an editor, gathering, soliciting contributions from other people of snips or chunks and put them together like a magazine or a book, like one of those editors would do. And then the last thing is I saw there are many choices and decisions to be made in this type of assignment about materials you can choose, the form, the colors, using 3D items and arranging them. And this is similar to a work of art, like a painting or sculpture or a piece of music or a combination of those. And I'm guessing that the people who came up with IMAX, those huge movies, IMAX movies in those huge theaters with surround sound, I imagine they came up with something like that from an assignment like this. And the last thing is the article about scrap writing tells us how a piece can be an assembly of fragments or texts or media to make something new, and composition does not have to be an essay with words and sentences. It's much more versatile. So thank you. That's the end of my video.